back to check out some more strange creatures, angels, and flying mysteries in the sky no one was supposed to see. Let's check it out.
And her husband keeping them up at night.
Next, a close encounter between a private plane, an astonished passenger on the plane capturing the sight on camera.
So potentially this creature is something that's extinct that we just don't know about yet.
The old expression of the sky's the limit stands unchallenged. That is, until the appearance of unexplained entities making themselves known within the sky. Here are some of the most mythical beings that were actually seen making an appearance in the sky. The fact that it made an angel-like appearance by flying past the sun and having a glowing nature does not necessarily mean it could be one, as it could also be some giant tooth fairy. A Vatican City passerby noticed a human-like figure that was gliding through the cloudy, partly sunny sky peacefully, which left him appalled. Since the city is the spiritual and administrative center of the Roman Catholic Church, he was convinced that this definitely could be an actual sighting of an angel. However, some viewers also shared that it could also be a fairy tale.
What if you're the only one that can see it? What is that a sign of? You know what I mean? You hear all of these different spiritual sayings and references and stuff like that. What if you're the only one that can see it? What is that reference to or mean in reference to the Bible?
Playing angels? It's not just the appearance of the angels that's hard to fathom here, but also the heavenly view created by the sun and the clouds surrounding it. In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, sightseers captured a startling moment on camera in June 2015, revealing two angels or humanoid figures flying in the sky, while confronting each other at the same time, almost as if they were playing. These figures maneuvered through the sky for a brief period before abruptly vanishing. Considering previous instances of positive divine signs or intervention shared by others, these occurrences appear increasingly credible. Guardian angels.
Stuff make me think about the story in the Bible or the stories that you've heard about the Nephilim. You know, if that took place back then, who's to say it can't be taking place now or about to take place?
If you ever thought about what guardian angels look like in their most literal form, this has to be it. A university student in Italy was left mesmerized when he noticed two angels that looked to be glowing, descending from the sky, flying around by the university building for a couple of seconds, before they vanished abruptly. Judging by the glowing white texture of these entities, it almost makes it certain that this very well were some kind of guardian angels. Prehistoric pterosaurs seen. Seems like not all of the dinosaurs may have gone extinct. In September 2015, an incredible event unfolded in Boise, Idaho, as an unidentified flying creature resembling a pterosaur was spotted. This ancient species, believed to have vanished millions of years ago, stirred imaginations about its potential survival. Theories ranged from hibernation to hidden habitats. Despite the breathtaking sighting, the absence of solid scientific proof leaves the existence of living pterosaurs in doubt. Possible dragon. Seems like a lot more comes out during the rain and thunderstorms than you could bargain for. In July 2021, a pedestrian who was walking past the Scottish castle wasn't just caught in surprise by the sudden change of the weather, but also by a huge flying creature that very well matches the description of a dragon. It makes its appearance visible by jumping off an elevated platform and flying at a shallow altitude, while its growling sound could be heard while it flew away. With the rain being intense, the signature of its breathing fire would leave no trail of evidence justifying the existence.
all I keep thinking of is those scenes in like Jurassic Park where they just fly down and they pick somebody up and just take them off, or either take them real high and just drop them, and then the rest of them just flock in and just start nipping at it and eating. Like, that's what I think about. Like, a lot of people, if you want to go back to the time and talk about pterodactyls and all that type of stuff like that, I don't know why they get skipped over. Like, they shouldn't be one of the most feared. Like, I think they should be.
Rainstorm tripod. If you've seen the good old movie War of the Worlds, you'd have a good idea of what's following next. In March of 2022, Chinese locals in Shenzhen experienced an uncanny encounter with what's now called an alien tripod that appeared in the middle of the city, seconds after a powerful thunder during a rainstorm. With poor visibility, it was hard to get a better look at it. However, the tripod was later reported to have vanished just as quickly as it appeared, without displaying any signs of its sinister intentions.
See, and a person like me, I think something like that is the government, because I think the government uses the weather to shield them when they be doing certain things. So sometimes I think, that's the government, using the weather and trying to shield them so they can do certain things without us knowing.
It humanoid. A possible explanation of this magical figure being an angel might initially occur to you until you notice it to have a dark kind of unfriendly vibe. In March 2020, pedestrians in Phoenix, Arizona noticed this aerial humanoid around 5 p.m. that was hundreds, if not thousands of feet above the ground. This dark figure appeared moving slowly from northeast to southwest. Despite the use of binoculars, they were not able to clearly make out this odd-looking entity. No noise could be heard, moving under clouds about a mile up, with it visible despite being far up in the sky. This object was definitely far bigger than anyone would expect. Descending alien. This clearly would leave you speechless no matter how many times you may look at it. Drivers and bystanders noticed this very intimidating-looking alien-like being that was descending from high up in the sky towards the street. This alienoid was spotted after it was repeatedly losing altitude until it was several meters away from the ground. Despite the footage being old and unclear, it could be seen having a very distinctive look, having bat-like wings and a rodent-type tail and hind legs. Huge alien moving. In October 2019, a Chicago resident captured footage of a massive, unidentified object traversing the sky, prompting speculation of a potential alien spacecraft sighting. The resident, while spending time with his daughter, managed to document the event as the mysterious object flew past buildings, circling around the city.
See, now this one I have to question, because look, normally something like that in the sky, it's gonna stop traffic. Clear outside, broad daylight, in the middle probably of a busy day, in the middle of the day, rush hour time probably or something. Everybody's gonna stop and see that. So yeah, this one makes me skeptical.
Around the city. Following the sighting, extensive studies and investigations were initiated, spurred by the event's sudden emergence and difficulty in tracking. Glasgow figure. A tourist couple exploring Berry Hill in Glasgow, Scotland, stumbled upon an unusual sight, a flying humanoid several miles away. Intrigued, the young woman and her boyfriend decided to capture the spectacle on film. Initially mistaking it for a weather balloon due to its peculiar shape, they soon realized it didn't resemble any they'd seen before. As it drew nearer, they observed through binoculars what appeared to be a humanoid figure with distinct features, such as a head, arms, and legs. The sighting sparked sparked speculation, with some pondering whether it could be a UFO, while others wondered if it might symbolize something more profound, such as the return of Christ. Fairy in the sky. This could have been anything from a tooth fairy to one that could haunt your dreams. In January 2023, a Portuguese man noticed a fast-moving fairy that appeared from within the clouds and was jumping around from one cloud to another. Fairies in clouds are mythical beings believed to dwell within the billowy expanses of the sky. Legends suggest they sculpt cloud formations, bestowing them with magical shapes and hues. Associated with dreams and whimsy, these ethereal creatures captivate imaginations, inspiring tales of wonder and enchantment. However, the recorder believed that this was an actual real-life occurrence of a fairy. Winged dinosaur? If a dragon and a dinosaur both have a terrifying appeal, seeing a combo of them is probably the last thing that could be on anyone's mind. While out for a hike on the outskirts of a city in Uttar Pradesh, India, the group of adventurers noticed a giant dinosaur-like being that appeared in the sky that also seemed to have wings similar to those of the dragons. The cloudy weather created poor visibility and made a clear view impossible. Despite little to no movement, it remained stationary within the sky. Falling angel. This angel was either sliding straight from heaven or hell in pursuit of its worthy dweller. A Chinese street vendor's eye was caught by this interesting sight of what was believed to be some alien vessel coming down. It wasn't until it visibly turned out to have a form of an angel that suddenly appeared and was dropping down fast.
Now we all know falling angels have biblical references. So what do we make of this right here?
Seemingly towards the ground, almost as if it were taking action towards someone's extremely good or evil deeds. Within but a minute, however, it disappeared, leaving it all to be just a mystery. Ogopogo Giant of Canada. On a sunny July day in 2020 near Okanagan Lake, a family relaxed as an unusual sight unfolded. The father, recording, caught a massive, elongated figure gliding through the water, causing large ripples. Strangely, the family seemed unaware. The man, the only witness, called it the Ogopogo Sea Monster, a local legend. This encounter piqued interest, especially since only the cameraman saw it. The footage provided a rare glimpse of the talked-about Ogopogo, prompting speculation about its presence in Okanagan Lake's waters. Mysterious flying creature. For a creature that's flying far away and is still visible, it is far bigger than what it looks. Back in March 2016, an alarmingly large mysterious figure was seen flying in the skies of Pennsylvania that left many wondering as to what its true nature might have been. It had huge and intimidating wings that helped it appear as well as disappear around the clouds. While its nature still remains a total mystery, could this have been a huge prehistoric bat? Another flying dinosaur? Or perhaps even a dragon of sorts? Do share with us your opinion down in the comments. Clouded celestial. Indeed, there seems to be an ethereal presence concealed within the guise of a cloud. In October 2016, a man from South Carolina observed and documented an extraordinary phenomenon, a celestial being appearing in the sky as a form of cloud during broad daylight. This cloud formation stood out for its sudden emergence amidst an otherwise clear sky, distant from any other clouds. While many onlookers interpreted it as a potential divine sign, others speculated about the possibility of extraterrestrial intervention, suggesting a deceptive motive. Amidst these varied interpretations, there also exists the plausible explanation of this occurrence being merely coincidental.
Again, I'm thinking possible angel. Because if you looked at the people that was in the water and on the beach, they really wasn't kind of paying attention. So he might have been the only one, again, maybe the only one that could have seen that.
Holy Land Shadow. With this being another Holy Land, the appearance of such mystical figures can't be ruled out to be some divine sign. In Jerusalem, a man was recording a sudden change of weather on the rooftop where the shadow of an angelic figure appeared in the sky, lasting only for a short moment. The recorder didn't take notice of the development until he was reviewing the footage later on, which he shared on the internet in hopes of an answer. Awakened Kraken. Surely the consequences of a woken kraken would certainly be far from just bad news for all the sailors. A lifeguard lookout camera on a beach on the western coast of the United States captured what looks to be the awakening as well as the rising of a kraken. The clip shows the appearance of several large tentacles emerging from under the sea. Only seconds before its center appears from under the water. With the formation of rain clouds, it created a perfect shadow-like condition for the appearance of this kraken, which also lowered its signature. Clouded spacecraft. A cloud could never move as quickly and uniformly as this one did, leaving a giant question to what its nature might be. A handheld camera caught a rare glimpse of a clouded entity that moved almost as if it were a craft of some type, which is widely...
Those make me nervous. Those make me nervous, man. And shout out to Jordan Peele for having me think that everything behind the cloud could be a spacecraft.
Believed to be the case. After much looking into the clip, where it's clearly seen flying under a cloud, it shows that this truly was a kind of spacecraft that went to extremely great lengths of hiding itself by making itself look like an odd-shaped cloud, with everyone taking it to be a case of coincidence. Gigantic moth. From the biggest of known insects to the biggest of the birds, there's nothing that we know of that could be as huge as this is. In January 2022, an Indonesian elderly man was enjoying a walk until he sighted a gigantic creature high up in the sky. Seeing from the footage, one could only describe it to be a giant moth, seeing how close its resemblance is. This oversized moth was seen flying in one direction until, within a span of several seconds, it could be seen turning around and flying back to where it came from. Jerusalem UFO sighting. The only reason that something like this wasn't taken out by any air defenses was because it wasn't exactly possible. In January 2011, a UFO sighting over Jerusalem's Dome of the Rock stirred global attention. The UFO descended down almost as if it were surveilling and quickly flying away after two bolts of light could be seen. The location, a sacred site for Muslims and Jews, heightened interest. Despite widespread coverage, the incident remains unexplained. Various theories, from drones to optical illusions, surfaced, but none conclusive. Rising shuttles.
That's scary.
With all the UFO sightings that have remained unanswered for several years, it almost seems like the aliens are getting disturbingly comfortable. A video dating back to November 2016 shows three rising shuttle-like objects hovering and gradually climbing up in the air until they eventually merged into one and disappeared instantly. Judging from the vibes of these shuttles that spread apart to cover a larger area, these shuttles were either trying to study, surveil, or create a portal after changing the nature of the planet.
We have no clue what we're dealing with. You just gotta laugh, bro, to try to laugh through it, because it'll drive you crazy if you start to think about it, man. Like that video and the video before it, what was scary about that one is the speed. What can we do with something that has that kind of speed? And according to some of the ones that have come forth, the highly decorated pilots and stuff like that, they're saying that they have speeds that just are unmatched. What can we do about that?
Godzilla cloud. Seeing this cloud raises the question if this actually is a Godzilla hidden in plain sight. While passing down the road during an early morning sunrise, a driver noticed a giant cloud formation in the sky that caught his attention and that left him in a state of confusion. Initially, he was convinced that it was nothing but the cloud in the shape of a giant beast, until he took notice of it touching the ground as well. The only possible explanation for this, apart from the Godzilla being real, is the highly rare possibility of coincidence. Supersonic anomaly. This object or anomaly was far too speedy for it to be identified even partially. A staffer at a branch of Americana Community Bank in Minneapolis caught this anomaly on camera as it moved past at supersonic speed. According to the footage, this entity of an unknown creature looked to be drawing power from the lighting, which may be assisting it to be at a supersonic speed. However, this partially proves the odds of this being a vessel rather than a flying life form of some kind. Another possible Godzilla. It's not just the size, but the shape and structure that looks exactly like that of Godzilla. A drone footage taken by the beach in Acapulco, Mexico from 2019 shows a very large figure having a description similar to that of a Godzilla standing within the water not too far from the beach. Upon the sighting, a siren was alarmed to alert all the unaware residents of its presence until it disappeared. With oceans and seas being deep enough to hide its structure, this very well could have been an actual Godzilla or a dinosaur. Sydney Sky Mystery. Unlike a UFO or an unidentified beam of light, this remains to be an indescribable entity. Eyewitnesses on the streets of Sydney, Australia, saw this hard-to-explain development that appeared in the sky out of random, since it had no solid structure and looked as if some liquid material was falling. Somehow, it stopped in the sky without even flinching a tiny bit, despite the varying pressure of the winds. This mystery showed no noticeable reaction that could disclose its nature or how it appeared in the sky. Sky portal or cloud. If this is ruled out from being some cloud, this could be anything from a portal opening in the middle of the sky to a figure of some kind, or perhaps some weird cause of nature. A source from an undisclosed location was enjoying a sunrise until he noticed this development in the sky. Apart from this being some long horizontal cloud that turned vertical, the bystander drew many theories, from it being a type of portal to another dimension, or perhaps even a large figure that is taking a form. Airborne Santa. With Christmas cutting close, no one saw this coming, leaving the existence of Santa Claus from folklore to being quite questionable. During a Christmas Eve afternoon, a New Yorker shared this recording of what looks to be Santa Claus's sleigh, with his reindeer flying over the city. Considering how it wasn't even dark yet, it shows that Santa was thinking way ahead of time, preparing for the big day, by heading to the parts of the world where it was night already. Sinking aerial anomaly. Call it a glitch in the Matrix or a prehistoric beast that's trying to sink into the current reality. An unknown source, after noticing this unreal moment that he caught on tape, showed an unidentified kind of aerial being. The anomaly looked to be caught up in some kind of very visible rays of light surrounding it, almost as if it were sinking in from another dimension, reality, or from back in time. Whatever this may be, it looks far too unexplainable to make any sense when it comes to the scientific aspects of reality. Cloud face. By the look of this cloud, one can also tell the mood of the weather. A residential area in Newcastle, United Kingdom, were left stunned upon noticing this giant face that appeared in the form of the clouds. The face looked to be made by a solid formation of clouds, giving a feisty expression from visible eyes and structure in general that looked to be even more intimidating with the lightning effect in the background. Some of the viewers took this to be some divine message. Mountaintop angel. Instances such as these show if the good spirits are following you or the bad. A ranch owner somewhere in Idaho, United States, shared this footage showing what looks to be a glowy scale of an angelic figure on top of a hill. The recorder, however, couldn't make out what exactly it was up to, apart from drawing a theory that it was attempting to pass through a different dimension, until somehow it got stuck in this one for but a short moment before it briefly vanished away in the blink of an eye, leaving no trace. Hovering humanoid. Most would have their initial perception about this to be divine intervention of sorts, when it actually doesn't hold that type of vibe. Footage from June 2019 displaying a human-like figure hovering in the sky above Sydney caught the attention of many tenants. The dark...
Why does it have to be a human-like figure? I don't know. We need a closer view with. I don't know what that is. Or how it's even doing what it's doing, or why is it following the person that's filming it? I don't know. Why we got to keep classifying it like a human-like figure, though? That could be something different.
Shaded figure was reported to appear ascending from the ground towards the sky, before it gradually disappeared into the sky while phasing out. Many were led to believe that this could be a possible alien abduction, while others think it to be a test run of a jetpack.
Now, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about alien abduction. People talk about those and bring those up and talk about their experiences with them. I never even thought about that. Possibly you could be witnessing an abduction.
And a minority also thinks it could be a sign of the return of Christ. Flying craft or figure. Could this be another dark angel in the sky, or an alien UFO that made an uncanny appearance? A very large flying object was noticed flying in Brazil that caught the attention of bystanders that were curious about its nature. A clip dating back to January 2021 shows a large conical-shaped object with a dark texture flying high in the sky during a sunset. Though it seems to look more like an alien UFO, it could also be another winged entity within the sky. By the end of the clip, we can see its shape completely changing into something rendering both the theories to be irrelevant. If you happen to know more about this incident that potentially reveals nature, share with us in the comments. Alien paraded effects. There exists exactly no aircraft or any flying vessel that could leave a signature like this. A driver in Paris noticed a long series of after-flight effects within the sky in the form of clouds, almost as if dozens of alien crafts paraded their way through. Each one of the pockets of cloud remained intact and fixed, showing who or whatever may have caused this to be not only disciplined, but also quite precise with the positioning, as well as perfection. Though it was justified by the authorities to be a natural effect of the weather, spectators believe this to be a doing of extra-dimensional beings. Surveilling UFO.
Ya está. No se ha ido, ahí sigue ahí.
Seems like aliens have gotten smarter by designing their aircraft to look like birds and to have the benefit of the doubt. In November 2016, a sighting of an unknown object was made as it hovered in the skies of Austin, Texas. The UFO, which looked like a light, giant bird in an upside-down position, remained stationary while looking down on an unknown person of interest or area. Once it started to get the attention of mainstream media, the surveilling UFO then decided to disappear within just a blink of an eye. If the aliens are going to extreme lengths just to bypass, you know that they are quite desperate. Sky Broom. If this stationary object is a broom that belongs to a witch, it's almost safe to say that the witch is having a terrible day. Footage taken by the beach in Las Vegas shows what looks to be a kind of flying broom that somehow got twisted and seemingly threw away its rider as a result. With the broom remaining idle within the sky and no one returning to claim, it left it at a complete mystery with no possible explanation as to who or what was possibly going on here. Perhaps karma finally had caught up with the witch that was on this broom. Floating figure.
We're out here throwing the football today, and we see this thing floating through the air.
If you look closely at this floating figure, it almost gives you the vibe as if it were a Kryptonian. While playing football, a group of youngsters in Philadelphia noticed this flying entity that was closing in on a forested area nearby. The grimy presence of such an entity left them to stop playing and to pursue this floating figure more closely to understand its nature. While the youngsters were maintaining a safe distance and investigating, the mysterious humanoid vanished into thin air. After going behind a hill. Aerial spotlight.
So we're not precisely sure, but much of the talk late tonight's been about a possible missile test launch, again from a sub off Florida's coast. You heard that theory.
Who it's shining towards is just as mysterious as the origin of this aerial spotlight. In February 2021, bystanders from Florida and the Bahamas noticed a light in the sky. An astronomy and physics lab coordinator, Eric Vandernoot from Florida Atlantic University, commented that this object was very high up in the sky.
You're seeing people from the Hope Sound and the Bahamas seeing it simultaneously. It tells me that it's extremely high up in the sky.
As it could be seen in both the countries. While its nature is not known, many speculated it could be a missile launch by the military or a comet. Burning debris.
That's a meteor. Wow. Oh my God, I was like, whoa, dude.
The simple fact that you can never tell if these are pieces of asteroids, Autobots from the Transformers, or just some debris falling in from outer space is terrifying if you think about the implications. In March 2021, bystanders in Washington noticed several pieces of burning objects that appeared from the sky and were falling towards the Earth.
Whoa. Look at that!
Once the debris crashed to Earth, an investigation revealed it to be the debris of a Falcon 9 rocket. Mysterious jetpack flyer.
Use caution, there was a jetman reported just north of Gate C.
In an unexpected turn of events, a mysterious jetpack flyer caught the attention of pilots near the bustling Los Angeles International Airport in November 2021. Several commercial pilots reported sighting a figure resembling a man flying with a jetpack while conducting takeoffs and landings. Prompted by the sensitivity of the situation, authorities swiftly launched an investigation. Within an hour, the Los Angeles Police Department dispatched a helicopter to assess the situation, only to discover that the perceived airborne individual was, in fact, a large Jack Skellington balloon. Black hole sky.
Jesus.
In December 2009, footage emerged on social media depicting a peculiar phenomenon near the SKJOD military base in Norway. The video captured a strange opening.
Now we can clearly see that's casting from somewhere by the little light beam going back towards this way. Somebody's doing it.
Distorting light in a spiral manner, reminiscent of a black hole's gravitational pull. Witnesses speculated whether it was a military rocket test or a UFO sighting. But its interaction
or could be a signal going out. Don't think it couldn't be a signal. Them trying to signal something or communicate.
and with light suggested characteristics more aligned with a black hole, emphasizing the overwhelming force such cosmic entities possess, contrasting with humanity's capacity to contend with extraterrestrial threats or monstrous beings. Mysterious Dementor.
What's going on? What's happening? Right now.
In February of 2023, online speculation ran rampant following a flight passenger's sighting of an enigmatic object outside the aircraft window. Resembling a creature from a science fiction film, the mysterious entity swiftly maneuvered alongside the plane. Comparisons were drawn to demons from Harry Potter, alien spacecraft, or even the mysterious Dementors. The passenger that was eager to get some answers turned to the internet community to help identify the unfamiliar figure, which only highlighted the collective curiosity surrounding the unexplained phenomenon. This picture and video was captured on September 25, 2021 in Boston, showing what was initially thought to be a bird, until its weird manner of flight caught everyone's attention, only to notice it being unusually large and having a sort of human figure amidst the wings. With it having an angel-like appearance, except that it was dark and facing resistance from nature, left many thinking it to be a fallen angel, or perhaps even a demon in disguise. Whoever this was, we leave this one for you to judge what it actually could be.